Welcome back. All right, so in the first part of this, the first video of this part, we showed how to make our dashboard. Okay, now we're gonna set up our form and our flow initiation screen in this one. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is, let's rename the screen, we'll call it main. And we're going to go ahead and go under layout again, and we're going to create a container. Now the container, I want it to be the size, I want to leave the title screen up there, and I want you to be able to see the progression. Okay, so I'm going to make it the size. Now right now it's transparent, so let's change the color to, we'll do green. Okay, we want a little contrast, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to insert a text label to identify the screen, the container name. So we'll take this all the way across. And we'll call this pre-checks for permission job. Okay. So I'm going to copy, and I'm going to cheat a little bit here, just for time's sake. Oops. Okay. We're going to make this, we'll do it like 25. We'll go bold. We're going to center it. We're going to make the background color, make it orange, I guess. Boom. There's our title screen. We know we're on the progression dashboard still, but you know we're doing the pre-checks. Okay. Now I'm going to copy all my steps from my other Power App into this one because I don't want this to take forever for you guys. And okay, there's our 4 directions, right? So I want to clean up this one now. Okay. Let's go after shared. Well, lines it right up for me. There we go. That looks better. All right, so now I got my directions in here. Now I need to put my toggles in. Okay. The toggles will just say that you completed the step. Okay. So I'm going to go insert, input. Now, in case you're wondering, anytime you see a diamond like this next to one of the actions, it means it's a premium control. Okay. These are being I'm in my own sandbox environment, so since I got an E5 license, I got ability to use a lot of different premium controls, but I can't use it in a production environment. So that's the reason I got so many of these. So if you see a diamond, that just means it's a premium function, and you may not, if you move it from one environment to another, you may not have that functionality. So just be aware. All right, so we're gonna come down here and we're looking for toggle. There it is. All right, way over here, line it up with my first one, and I don't like that off label there, so I'm going to turn it off. And then I'm going to make the width 40. Ooh, too much. Do like 60. All right. So now I'm going to do some customizing of this thing, and then I want to copy it like 3 other times. That way I don't have to do it more than once. So let's go to the advanced just to make things simple. Down here, we're looking for a fill color for true and false. Okay, here's true fill, and false fill. Okay, so if it's like this, I'm going to say color red. And then down here in the true fill. So color green. All right, so that way you can tell, like when you go to toggle it, it changes color. Okay, and then the action it's going to do is it's going to write to SharePoint on whatever step it's assigned to, and it's going to either set it to true or set it to false, because my step 1 through 5 columns are true, are yes no columns. So it's either true or false, 1 or 0, yes or no. Okay, so just so I don't have to type all that stuff out, I just got to modify it a little bit. I'm going to go in here, so I'm going to go back up the top here to uncheck. So I'm going to click on check. On check is going to write a true condition to SharePoint, whichever step it is. Okay, so I'm going to go patch. I'm going to utilize the patch function, and I'm going to go to source library names. And one thing I didn't do yet, which I need to still do, is I got to create 2 variables. Okay, one is the site URL of the button we clicked on, and the library name of the button we clicked on, or the label we clicked on off the dashboard. Okay, because that's going to tell me which one is it's going to. I'm going to need later for the flow, but for this I don't. I'm going to use gallery 1 dot selected, comma. Is it not gallery 1? Oh, it's gallery 2. Okay. So gallery 2 dot selected is my record. Okay, because see if you watch this, as you can see, the data type is record. We need to know what record we're on, and as you look at the top there, it says patch source record update. We're looking for a record, so that's what it needs. And then, since we're patching a record and we're doing individual columns within that record, we need to use the curly brace function there, and we'll use step 1 as our thing, and we're going to say true. Since it's Boolean, you don't put it in quotes, right? It's not a string value, it's or text value, it is a Boolean. We're going to close out our curly brackets and close out our patch statement. Okay, and that's all we do for that one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'll go down to the uncheck, and I'm going to copy the statement in there, except I'm going to change the true to false. Okay, so now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to navigate to my source list. I'm going to show you that this works. So we go in here, come down to source library names, and you'll see, remember, this is the one we're targeting right now, right? I've used this several times, that's why there's check marks there. Alright, so what I'm going to do is in my Power App, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to move it to true, then I'm going to turn it to false. Okay, first I want to show you this. Okay, so if we go back to our thing, and I refresh my page, interesting, it didn't change it. Oh, I know why it didn't work. I never selected, I don't have anything selected on the first page. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I got to set my visibility for this. I'll do it now. Okay, so we'll go visible. So right now it's showing all the time. So we're going to set it to, we're going to set a variable. So we'll go var show flow initiate. Okay. So now on these buttons here, or on these labels, every control in Power Apps has an on select. That's why I said you can use a button or you can use a label, it doesn't matter. I I like labels for something like this because they got square edges. Buttons can do square edges too, but you have to configure them that way. They've got rounded edges by default. So we're going to go select parent. We're going to leave that there. And then I'm going to, since I'm going to need this later, I'm going to go ahead and set my variables for my URL and my library name. So we're going to go set var site URL to this item dot site URL, close it, semicolon, set var library to this item dot library name, close it. Then we're going to go, because when we click these libraries, we want it to go to that form screen, right? So we're going to go set var show, press capital S, it's got to match right or it's not going to work. Show flow initiate true. I'll make sure I did this right. Should just copy this just to make sure. Oops. Make sure it matches. Okay, good. So now it's going to set those two variables and this. So if I go here, select this, and we'll go here, turn it on true, then turn it off. Now when we go back here, you'll see that it's not showing it anymore. Okay? So now if we turn it on, see if we click the toggle, give it a second, and then, because it takes time to write SharePoint, we refresh the screen, and now it should be checked. Interesting. Okay. Okay, it turns out it was taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to, so it, as you can see here, it did select it. So let's go back here. Now, we need a way for it to automatically detect when we hit that one of those labels and it opens up the form, it needs to detect what each one's doing. So now we're going to go down to default, okay? And we need to know what it's pulling. So we're going to go to gallery 2 dot selected dot step 1. Okay, and that should detect what actually is being, what the actual value is. So let's go to default here. Alright, I want to put an icon so I can close this without having to go back and forth. So we're going to put a icon in here. An X, which everybody's custom mean go back or whatever, right? I'm going to put it over here on the right side where it customarily is. And on select, I'm going to have it set, that variable he just set to true to false. So it closes it. Okay, so we're going to go in here. We're going to go back in. Alright, so I need to put in an additional function here because I think it's not refreshing. So we're going to go refresh. Oops, not comma. And we're going to use semicolon to separate stuff, so refresh. Source library names. Alright, so come out here, close. First. If I put it first, maybe that's why maybe it's not enough time. Okay, select it again. It's not checked now for some reason. Okay. Let's go back in here, let's check it, and let's go back to the beginning. We'll wait about 10 seconds, give it time to update. See, now it's automatically checked. Let's make sure our data source changed, and it did. Okay. So now it does that. So another way you can do this too is you can go into the library itself. Let's go into step 1. Let's uncheck it. Okay, so it's unchecked here. So if I go back, let it refresh, and then I go back here, it's turned off. So it is working. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I'm going to grab the second one here. We're going to put it under here. Grab the third one. Something moved on me right as I let go of the mouse. And there's our fourth one. Now, we don't want this fourth one to be active until after the flow runs, right? So I will show you how to do that later. So now we need to go in here and update our properties, right? So this one's for step 2. So we need to go in here, change that to 2, and when I made the list, I was stupid. I made a capital S on the first one and a little s is on the rest, so I'm going to have to fix it. So this one should be 2 with a little s. And this needs to be step 2 with a little s. See what it did? It automatically grabbed that setting. So step 3. So step 3. Copy it. Show how to do this individually. 3. 3. This is step 4. Copy that. Step 4. Alright, so I'm going to turn this off, this off, this off, so that way we don't run into that problem, right? Alright, so we got our toggles in and they're programmed. Now what I need to do is I need to go in here and add another button to take me to the next screen. So I'm going to add a button, a regular button, put it down here below step 4. Make it nice and big so you can see it. put the whole thing in there. Okay. So now that's our button. So we're going to go to the on select. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up a confirmation screen. Okay, we haven't built it yet. So once we built it, I'll go back and put that in there. Okay. So we want it to be a child of this this container, right? So I'm just going to stay inside this container. Actually, let's rename it real quick. We'll call this flow initiation. Okay. Go insert, under layout, go down container. Now we're going to make this a little bigger. We're going to put a few pieces of information in it. Come down and center it. Then we're going to put a background color on it. So it says green. Do blue. Okay. Of course, we're going to put a banner on it. So we put a text label in here. Across. And we'll call this our automate flow confirmation. Okay. 25. We're going to bold it. We're going to center it. We're going to make this red to stand out. And we'll make the color white. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, remember those two variables I made earlier? Well, we're going to use them now. Okay, we're going to put that there. Oops. I thought I copied this. I guess I didn't. So I have to toggle in its memory banks. Alright. So this one is going to be the site URL. And this one will be library. We're going to make two more labels. And we're going to extend them out. And then I'm going to, for the data in this label, we'll use our site URL. This way this stuff is dynamic that way. And we're going to have our library. Okay, so it's saying, hey, I'm getting ready to run the flow against this URL and this library. And then I'm going to insert a couple more buttons. So we'll go here, copy paste. Go down a bit. And I'm going to make this one called yes. And this one will be no. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to color them based off their text. Okay. So we're going to go to their fill property. Now I'm going to make one red, one green. Okay, the red one means danger. You know, you're about to run something. Green means you're going back to safety, which is just going to close the screen. So I'm going to say if self.text equals yes, color red, or color green. Since there's only two out, you know, a yes and a no, I figured that would color them properly. Boom, there you go. Okay. Now I'm going to make the font size a little bigger because it's really small. Right now it's 15, so we'll go like 25. Boom, bigger. And let's make them bold just to be wild and exciting. Alright. Alright, so you got yes and no. Now, basically if you click no, it's going to take this window and close it. Okay? So let's go back to the unselect. We're going to go set there flow initiation confirm false. I'm going to copy this real quick. Then I'm going to put it over here. It's going to be the same thing, except I'm going to put one other command out front of it. So we're going to go set. But we're going to do one other command here. See, once we hit yes, we want to go back to the main screen, right? So I'm going to close both these containers. With the no, it's just you're bringing it back to here, and if you want to go back, you can hit the X. Because you don't, just because you hit no, don't mean you want to come out of everything. You may have forgot to hit a toggle or something, or you just by accident went there. So there's that. But also the yes command is also going to initiate the flow, okay? Which we haven't added yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the flow from part 2 onto our Power App. So we're going to go here, and then we're going to hit add flow. I know it had the word item in it, so I cut it down to just a few. Okay, so pretty sure it was this one. Okay, it takes about 10 seconds and it'll add it. As long as there's nothing wrong with the flow. Okay. Like if you don't use the trigger for Power Apps, it won't add it. Alright, so it's added. So now what we're going to do is we're going to open this up a little bit. I'm going to move these down a couple lines. And I'm going to go firm. When you see dot run behind anything, that means it's a flow. Okay, so it's telling the flow to run. Now you look up top here, you got little help text. Okay, you got text and text 1. But you notice over here it says text site URL. So we're going to use our bar site URL. Okay, once you hit comma, watch what it does. Now it says text _1 library. So it's looking for the library name. And once you're done with that, close it, semicolon. Alright, now there's one additional thing I need to do here. I need to put a true false variable on this flow to tell me whether it ran successful or not. Okay, if it is, if the initiation is positive, it'll set the variable to true. If it isn't, like if there's an error, it'll say false. Okay, and we're going to use this variable to set that fourth toggle. Okay, so we're going to come back here. We're going to go set var flow success. And then we're going to put this whole thing and close it. Now you'll see here, it's blank right now, but once we run it the first time, it'll say true or false once we run it. So now we are going to go to the no route right now until we finish this up. Alright, so I'm going to run this a little bit. I'm going to hit no. I forgot to do something. I got to set the visibility of this container. So let's copy this. And then we're going to go back to our tree view. We're going to go to container 2. Let's call this flow confirm. It's just so I know which container does what. And then go down to visible. And we're going to set that there. since we set it to false just a second ago, it disappears. Okay? Now on here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to display mode. Now the other ones, the first three, they're available all the time. So we don't have to do anything with that. We only have to do this on the fourth one. Alright, so display mode already has edit. Okay, edit means, hey, it can do stuff. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to put a condition in here. So if bear flow success if it's true, display mode edit, otherwise display mode disabled. And then close it. Now see what it did? If that thing's anything but true, it's going to make it disabled. Once we run it, it'll make it edit, and I'll be able to toggle it. Okay? So, let's do a test. But we need to do it. Oh, I forgot one thing. I don't want this button to be initiated until these first three toggles are selected to true. Okay? So we're going to do something similar, except okay, we're going to go to display mode again. We're going to go back to home, put one line in there. If. Now, I need to name these toggles, so I know which toggle's which, without having to look them up every time. So, close this up. I'm going to go toggle, oops, step 1. Toggle, step 2. Toggle, step 3. And I don't have to name the last one, but I'm going to just for consistency purposes. Alright, let's go back to the button. Open up my formula bar. So we go toggle, step 1, value. Equals true, and now I'm just going to copy this, so I'm going to do it 3 times. So we're going to change this to a 2, and just a 3. So it's basically saying if toggle 1, step 1, step 2, and step 3 are all true, you can be display mode edit, otherwise display mode disabled. Oops. That works. Alright, so as you see there, since my toggles, one of them, at least one is not true. Oops. As you see, I'm clicking, 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 nothing happens. Alright, so we're going to set the first one, still disabled. Second one, still disabled. So 3, it's enabled. So now we're going to run our initiate flow. Oh, I know what I forgot. I forgot to tell the command for the command thing to come up. Okay, so, alright, on select, see, I didn't put nothing here, that's why I didn't do anything. We're going to set bear flow confirm true. Okay, we're just, all that button does is open up that confirmation screen. Okay, so, let's try it again. Click this, opens up my confirmation. Alright, we are going to go to the site URL of this, of documents. Remember, that's what I pre-programmed in that flow in the part 2 video. So now we're going to hit yes. going to run, and you see it closed both the containers and brought me back to the main screen. Now, if you want to check the flow, we can open up Power Automate. So we go here. Go to My Flows, and then go to that flow that you programmed into this app. Let's look what's going on. My Flows. There we go. Alright, so this is the one we're going after, so we're going to click on the name. It said it failed. Wonder why it failed. Let's check it out. Okay. Didn't make it past the first one. Oh, I know what I did. It says get there. It needs to say post. So let's go ahead and fix that real quick. See, that's why we do these things. I did this kind of fast, so easy mistake to make. Oops. No, it's right here. So you want it to say post. Okay. So save. Alright, let's go back. And I'm just going to rerun it, the same job. So you just open it up. And then at the top you go resubmit. That way it uses the same parameters it used before. Since I only have like 20 or 31 items, it doesn't take long. As you can see, it completed successfully that time. Alright, let's go back to my Power App. Now, if we reopen our documents, you'll notice that my step 4 is available now. Okay? That means that variable gets set to true, and it allowed it to be edit. Okay? So, now once you're done, you click this one. So I'm not going to do that yet because we have one more task to do and this app will be complete. We need to set these labels to a color code so you know what the status is, whether it hasn't been run, in progress, or it's done. Okay? I set those first 3 on so that way one would be in progress and then you can see when it's completed what it does. So on the fill property of this label, we're going to go in here, come down to fill. Wow, I'm blind. There it is. Alright, so we don't need this anymore, so we can remove it. Okay, if now we're going to put all 4 of these in here. So we're going to use SharePoint as our thing. So okay, I went ahead and entered the command to color code the boxes. Okay, basically it says if all 4 toggles are false, make it red. If the first 3 are true but the 4th one is false, make it dark orange, and anything else color green. So basically it has to have all 4 toggles turned on to turn green. Okay, so I'm going to close this up so you can see the whole thing. So you got this one's, so since this one's orange, it's in progress, and then these are all still waiting to be run. Okay, based off what's on the portal. Okay, or SharePoint. Now what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you that this one will turn green if I hit this toggle. Okay, so when you hit this toggle, it's going to save it. Now another thing I want to do on the unchecked is I want it to close this window because we are done now, right? There's nothing else to do with this. So there's no point to leave it open. So I'm going to come in here, put a semicolon, and go set show initiate false. Okay, so I'm going to make it untrue again so I can test this and make it true. Boom. See what happened? It turned green and it added the number from 31 up from what it was. Okay? And now it's complete. Okay, I got one more thing I need to set, which I noticed the number didn't change, so I got to do that. On step 4, you also want it to set the total items completed on SharePoint. So on the uncheck, we're going to go on your patch command. I want to also do this. So I'm going to break this out a little bit so it's easier to read. You'll see what I mean here in a second. I'm going to do oops, forgot that one. I got a second item now. There it is. Items completed to equal gallery 2 selected oh, it's number. I should put the word total there, a bit easier to remember. Okay. Okay, and then for the uncheck, I'm going to do something similar, but I'm going to have it set to 0 so it shows that it hasn't been, nothing's been completed. Okay, so I'm going to break this one out. When it's only one item that I'm updating, I'll leave it all in one line, but if there's more than one, it's not. Oh, bless it, I did it again. Comma. Item completed. 0. Oops. So, if I uncheck this and recheck it, it should toggle the numbers. See the items completed changed to 27, and then when I select it, it changes it back to 58. Okay, so my app should be complete now. Okay. One thing I want to do though is I want to change the color of the letters. I noticed they're kind of hard to read with the darker colors. So I'm going to select my label, and then I'm going to select color. I want to make the letters white. Now they stand out a little better, no matter what color I use. So if I go in here and deselect this, and then close this, see, even when it's orange, it's readable. And that's our complete project. Okay. If you have any questions or comments, put it in the comments below. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Hold on. I never showed you the actual proof that this works. Okay. So let's go up to our dev site, and then we're going to go to my mouse died. Hold on. I gotta put my mouse in because I have a trackball that's tends to die over a couple days. Alright, so we're going to go back into our site contents, we're going to go to our documents. Now it says 31 items, and I got it, it's all files, okay? So if you go to your Manage Access, and then this thing's kind of hard to read. Well, this one shouldn't be bad, because it's only one, there's only one owner group. So here's our base permission, right? See what I did? If you look on the one, oh, I covered it up. All right, let's go back. See, it's got D selected, right? D is our column. So if you come in here and you look at groups, you'll see that it's using operations. Remember, leadership is A, HR is B, logistics is C, and operations is D. Okay, so let's pick a different one. Let's do A. So if I go here, manage access, groups, leadership. See, so this thing does work. And the most I've done, I think the highest number of items I've ever used this flow with is 27,000 plus. So trust me, it takes a long time, okay? I was on a DoD network when I did that, 27,000, and it took a day and 6 hours, if I remember right. So generally, it'll do about 1,000 items an hour. There is no way a person can do that by themselves, especially with the current state of SharePoint. Unless you got lightning speed and you're really, really fast with the buttons, you're never going to go that fast. So, you know, it's averaging probably, I think it came out to be like 29 a minute, so 1 every 2 seconds. 1 click takes that long. And it's more than 1 click when you do permissions, so. Enough of that. I kept you guys long enough for today. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe to me. I know I don't explain things very well. I'm getting better. But if you have any suggestions on my teaching style, all ears. Okay? But I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Till next time.